bonuses that they've received, the second payment. And that is why we had to come up and say enough is enough. We want to address the root cause of the entire, which is systemic. And that is why we've done so much recommendation in our address today concerning looking in depth, establishing another committee to look at the in-depth operations of the KTDA. Because last time, indeed, we went to the field and we sought for farmers, we sought for, we actually did public participation. We consulted farmers on on opinions on why we got 20 shillings, especially in most of the factories from west of Rift in the last bonus. And most of the recommendations are still in the T-bill, that is before the House, and that is being in the second reading. And some of the suggestions we actually had called the Ministry of Agriculture and T-Board and even KTDA. We called them and we told them to correct. But to our amazement, to date, things are getting worse. And that is why we are coming back and recommending stringent measures to address the current situation. I don't know, from our members, I don't know who has something to add. Member from Kisii, and we also look at member from Nandi. I don't know who wants to add something. Yeah? Okay. Is it you?
So thank you, and as you've heard, the challenges are quite many, and that's why we are so much focused on taking this more seriously by focusing on setting up an ad hoc committee in Parliament that will delve deeper, and also as we ensure that the bill that is in the House is fast-tracked so that we don't sit here next year again. Because we can't be here every time saying that our farmers are suffering and nothing tangible is taking place. The farmers from the Gusii region, together with our neighbors from west of Rift, are not happy at all. We can't have a country whereby there are areas that never have complaints, yet whatever they produce is the same, the auction market is the same, and we are being told the reason for their punishment is the testing. In 2025, we cannot be having the mouth being the single testing instrument for product. We have to move to scientific from biological testing. As my colleague said, we all have different tastes, even in whatever we eat in every day. Someone loves pork, another one loves beef. How can this person be the expert who says the tea from factory X, and coincidentally, tea is from the east of the Rift, suddenly are always having a greater value? So we need to move to more scientific. The world is technological nowadays. And it's so sad that it's only in Kenya, the mouth is where we are still stuck, to the pains and cries of our people. Enough is enough, and as the leaders from that side, we've said enough is enough. We are not going to sit here again watching our farmers suffer. And to the management of KTDA, whatever cartels that are in there, once the ad hoc committee comes out with a resolution, we'll have to tackle the cartels for once and for all. We can't have a few people enriching themselves at the expense of the millions of farmers out there. Thank you.
Let me just make a comment. So thank you very much. I also wish to associate myself with all the comments that have been made on the joint statement by all members of parliament from the regions that represent where tea farming is done. In my constituency, about 65% of the constituency is purely tea farm. So we are deeply affected by the events and what is happening at KTDA. It is sad that, as read earlier, 68% of all the tea production actually comes from the West. And we are the ones that are suffering the economic injustice of magnanimous levels. It is interesting that some of the big tea farms in my constituency produce some of the best tea. When you travel across the globe, you find Lipton tea. Most of it comes from Eastern produce. In my constituency, they're the best teas out there. But when you go to Mombasa, where testing is done via the mouth, we happen to be we receive the lowest rating. It's quite interesting that you find some factories in the East are getting 60.8 shillings, while you come to some factories in Nandi, we are operating between 17 and 15. What kind of injustice is this? This must come to an end. And that is the reason why we are here today, to address such matters. Like, we must go scientific. You cannot lie to us anymore that you are using your mouth to do the testing in Mombasa and claim this is one of the leading globally, this is the leading tea auction. Thirdly, is the ridiculous sittings that are being done by the directors. Where on earth do you have 155 sittings being done? What is this that you are discussing, and then you come up with skewed, very skewed earnings to our people? 155 sittings is extremely out of order, and some of the things that we are calling out. About the issue of the progress farms, we are saying we need representation from the regions where we come from. You cannot be having all the tea brokers coming from the East, and you only have one coming from our western part of the Rift. This is not acceptable. We will not agree to that. And finally, therefore, the issue of the staffing in KTDA. It is extremely skewed towards one region, or the region to the East. This is not right. We want, of course, professionals to be in that space, but when you have professionals with a skewed kind of mindset setting, we tend to believe that is what is driving the economic injustice to our region. And therefore, I associate myself with what has been presented by members here. And when the ad hoc committee will be set up in Parliament, we will be addressing quite a number of things, and even the bill that is coming. But overly, the kind of injustice that is happening in KTDA must come to an end. Our farmers cannot continue to suffer to these levels. Thank you.